Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to look at 4 things spotted in Arsenal training. Arsenal will play Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge, and Mikel Arteta's Arsenal know that even though this game pretty much means nothing to Arsenal, they still have the opportunity to prevent Chelsea making it into the top 4 and maybe have the slightest chance of making it into the 6th or 7th positions. So you have to wait and see how these players trained in training. So the first thing on the list is Omar Rekik trains with first team. So you can clearly see in this picture here, Omar Rekik is training in Arsenal's training ground, and he is someone that was training with the first team, someone that was recruited in the January transfer window, as someone that should play in the under-23s and develop into an Arsenal player that can play in the first team. But you can clearly see that he is doing very well in the under-23s. He was someone that was brought in from Hertha Berlin. He looks like a decent centre-back that could play in that right centre-back position alongside other future youngsters that can also play in that right centre-back position, such as the likes of William Saliba, Dinos Mavropanos, and Omar Rekik is another player that can follow that mould and play in that position as well. Someone that also can play in that right-back position, and he is someone that is quite versatile as well. Someone that Mikel Azeez may give the opportunity to now start featuring in the Arsenal squad, because it's time for the youngsters to be given opportunity. You hear Mikel Azeez stating that it is now time to be ruthless in this summer transfer window. So the youngsters probably have a good chance of making it into the first team, have the opportunity to play some few games, even though it's very likely against a tough opponent like Chelsea, and Thomas Tuchel is someone that can get this Chelsea team scoring 3, 4, 5 past Arsenal. But it's good to see youngsters are training with the Arsenal first team, and Omar Rekik was one of those players that did train with the first team. So the next thing on the list is Nicolas Pepe's and Gabriel Magalhaes' relationship. So you can clearly see here that you know that Nicolas Pepe and Gabriel Magalhaes have a very good relationship on and off the field. You can see both of them are fighting here in the Arsenal training, but you can see it's all fun and games. It's not really a fight or they're really in a scrap, but you can clearly see that Nicolas Pepe is someone that has a good relationship with players that came from Lille, with Lille right now currently doing very well in the league, currently sitting at first place ahead of PSG by 3 points. In terms of Nicolas Pepe, he is someone that came for big money, someone that's recently going into a good run of form, but you can clearly see that this relationship between Nicolas Pepe and Gabriel Magalhaes could hint the fact that Yves Bissouma, who has currently been linked with the Gunners for a very long time, shows that these two players have very good relationships with each other since they're both from Lille. And you can clearly see that Yves Bissouma definitely talks with these players like Nicolas Pepe, Gabriel Magalhaes, and you can clearly see that given the fact that Yves Bissouma is an Arsenal fan as well, is an opportunity for these players to lure him to the Arsenal. Even though Arsenal may be without European football, they have the slightest chance, slightest of slightest chances to make it into European football. We have to wait and see if we can even beat Chelsea first. Nicolas Pepe and Gabriel Magalhaes may be starters in the match, so let's see how they perform versus Chelsea. So the next thing on the list is Miguel Azeez trains with the first team. So like other players that also were called up to train, Miguel Azeez is someone that has been training on a consistent basis with the Gunners, with the first team as well, like the likes of Folarin Balogun, Eddie Nketiah. These players, even though they might play in the under-23 matches, they also come and train with the first team. And Miguel Azeez is someone that's been featuring on a daily basis in terms of Arsenal's training. Someone that can easily get into the midfield, in my opinion. Many players, many fans are stating, why not give the youngsters the opportunity? Look how poor our midfielders right now. We've got the likes of Ceballos, El Neni. Partey has been poor. Xhaka has been consistent, but not overly good. So you can clearly see that youngsters like Miguel Azeez who are hungry for an opportunity, hungry for a chance at the squad. And we can clearly learn from Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea. You see Billy Gilmour, he didn't train with the Chelsea first team under Frank Lampard. He was someone that was moulded into the first team, and under Thomas Tuchel, someone that many doubted that he's not going to give the youngsters an opportunity, he's not going to be fair with his options. You can clearly see Bill Gilmour starts every Premier League match in the last 3 or 4 games. So why not give these youngsters like Miguel Azeez an opportunity to play in that centre midfield position, even as an opportunity to play as a substitute? But it all depends on Mikel Arteta's thinking and if he'll make that decision. So the final thing on the list is Gabriel Martinelli's and Bukayo Saka's bromance. We can clearly see that Mikel Arteta made a huge mistake in the game versus Villarreal in the first leg and the second leg by not playing Bukayo Saka in that left back position. That was a huge mistake by Mikel Azeez is something that he's going to regret. But one thing I learned from Mikel Azeez is the fact that he learns from his mistakes. Even though many Arsenal fans have been calling him to leave the club, for him to be sacked, it looks like he's going to be back this season, and he's going to be given the opportunity next season as well, and he will be probably decided his fate at the end of this year. And that's what I think my timeline is. I think if he's going to be backed in this summer transfer window, if he's going to be given the opportunity, I think he pretty much has until the end of this year to see where he finishes, where we are before the Christmas break or after the Christmas break, and see if we are actually in a good position with all these summer recruits. Even though Stan Kroenke likes to say talk the talk, but he doesn't walk the walk, so we have to see what happens. But Gabriel Martinelli was someone that didn't feature as good in the game versus West Brom. He's someone that did struggle in that number 9 position in that striker role. But just imagine with Saka's and Gabriel Martinelli's bromance, that left winger side would have caused problems for the likes of Chukwueze in the second leg. But even though he got injured, but it was a huge mistake by Mikel Arteta. So you know that these are 4 things spotted in Arsenal training. There's a lot more things as well. But Mikel Arteta knows that he has the opportunity to have these youngsters like Miguel Azeez, other players like Omar Rekik given the opportunity to see if they actually going to make it into the first team. You see that Mikel Arteta is saying that he's going to be ruthless. He's got a lot of loan players. He's got a lot of players that haven't decided on their contracts. He has a lot of things to talk about, and he's talking about in his press conference, and he's talking it and bigging it up if it's going to be a massive summer overhaul. And that's something I said from the start of last season. We need a massive overhaul from top to bottom. New owner, new manager, new players, new things, new assistant staff. A lot of things need to be changed in my opinion. But they're backing Mikel Arteta. They're saying they're backing Mikel Arteta. Even the latest one he talked about, they're saying that they're backing him. But we can use these games as an opportunity to see where these youngsters are. You see Gabriel Martinelli, all famously, when he got that goal, he went past N'Golo Kante, he ran literally half of the pitch to score. You can see these opportunities going to rise in a game versus Chelsea. It's going to be goal scoring in my opinion. But other than that, guys, remain blessed. Stay tuned for the next video, and peace.